Hey guys, Gemma from ASD Rocks with Bo in the car. Just wondering, Bo, now that you are officially 16, any plans to start learning to drive?
Not that I'm too ego. And even if I do want to think about it, I have other things to be busy about.
Like what? What's...
Like tests and exams and careers.
Is your career a concern for you?
Well, it seems to be that way for me. Like, even if I wanted to have a plan about driving, I also need to fit in. I think I need to focus on schoolwork.
Okay, because lots of other kids are learning to drive and doing schoolwork at the same time. I'm not saying you have to, right? It's your life, your choice. What is your career now that you want? Because I know that originally you wanted to be a postman.
Now my dad persuaded me that when becoming a forensic scientist, you don't have to go to crime scenes if you pick the right job. You can pick a laboratory forensic scientist.
Absolutely.
So now I'm in a frenzy of a debate whether I'm going to be a chemist or a forensic scientist in a laboratory.
Which one? I guess we should find what you do. If you don't need to be in a frenzy. Firstly, you're only 16, so that's number one. And you don't have to decide those things until you want to decide, for example, what university course in chemistry or sciences you want to take. So we've got some time for that just before you get really sort of concerned. So don't be in a frenzy at all. Secondly, what I would do if I was trying to decide between two careers, I would look at which one required the highest marks, the most work, and I'd go for that one, knowing that if I didn't get it, I could still fall back on the other one. It's like a safety net. Do you know what I mean by a safety net?
Oh God, I was dozing off.
Okay, dozing off, yep. So what I would do, where did you get up to?
I
didn't hear any of it.
I don't even know where I started dozing off.
Okay, all right, that's cool. So if I was choosing between two careers, then I would choose the hardest one, so that if I didn't make it, it wouldn't matter. I'd have the other one as the safety net. Do you know what?
Oh, yeah.
So, like, for example, if it's harder to be a chemist, like a compounding chemist, if you were going to be a compounding chemist, a chemist, there's lots of different types of chemists, but, some of them, for example, could work for NASA. A chemist could work for NASA, and you could combine your love for space and astrology and things like that, or you could be a compounding feminist chemist. And they're the ones like, your melatonin that we get?
Yeah.
We have to go to a special pharmacy for that.
Yeah.
We can't just go and buy it from anywhere. They make that up for you right then and there on the spot. That's a compounding pharmacist, right? So you can be one of those where you've got all the stuff that we get from a regular chemist, like Panadol and things like that. That's already made up. It's there in the shelves, isn't it? It's there in the shelves. That's not what a compounding chemist is, or a compounding pharmacy. So there's lots of different lots of different types of chemists. And I guess what I would do, are you still with me?
Yeah.
What I would do is I would look into what are the requirements to be a forensic scientist, laboratory located, or a chemist. And then I would say, okay, I need a degree in chemistry for this, this, and this, or I need to be a forensic scientist. Actually, it turns out not too much. So, and then I would go for the hardest one. And if that puts the pressure off, because you know that, you know what, if I don't make it, or if I change my mind or anything like that, I've gone for the hardest one, and I can always fall back on my second choice and I'll still be happy. Yeah? So, okay, so you're focusing on your career now, which is why you don't want to drive, because this was about driving, wasn't it? What happens if you get a job? For example, a lot of kids do what's called work experience. So they go to a place, for example, that they're interested in. Your dad did work experience at Channel 10, right? And then when he finished school, he went to work at Channel 10. He already knew people there, he already knew things, and then he became audio director at Channel 10 for 15 years or something like that. So what does work experience do for you?
It prepares you for your job.
It prepares you. It shows you what the real life, it's a little bit like VR. So it puts you in that world, but without any responsibility. Shows you. It's like a taste test, or a trial, or a VR where you go in and you can actually see what it's like, and then, you know, go, oh, do you know what? This is totally different to what I thought it was going to be. I'm going to change my mind. Or this is exactly what I want, or, oh gee, I wanted this, and, you know, it's maybe I'll go, instead of being a forensic scientist, I'd be a scientist for this or that. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, what happens if you get a job, a work experience job that you need to travel to? Because you do work experience at school, during school, not when you finish school. How are you going to get to your work experience? Or when you're finished and you go to university, you'll be saying, well, I'm focusing on my studies at university. When will you ever not be focusing on something that's going to allow you to think about driving or learning to drive?
I don't know.
It's just...
It's near the end of it.
I know, yeah, but we're getting there, and I'm going to turn off straight away because I did promise it wouldn't take the whole way there. But it's something to think about. I think that we need to spend a little bit more time thinking about, because if you're going to work, you might need to get there.
Yeah.
Okay, signing out.